It was a mundane Monday afternoon at a gas station when I finally realized I was being played by my own wallet. The epiphany didn't come from a spreadsheet or a lecture. It came from that cheerful, high-pitched beep of a card reader. I had just tapped my phone, walked away, and realized 10 minutes later that I couldn't even remember the total. I didn't know if I'd spent $40 or $60, and honestly, in that moment, I didn't care. That was the problem. It hit me a few minutes later while I was driving. I tried to reconstruct the purchase in my head. Coffee, snacks, maybe gas. But it all felt fuzzy, like trying to remember a dream. That's when it clicked. I wasn't just forgetting the number. I was disconnected from the act itself. I wasn't spending money anymore. I was just playing a video game where the points didn't feel real. But the consequences definitely were. The screen said, "Approved." And that was all my brain needed to move on. No friction, no hesitation, no memory. We live in an era of frictionless spending, where banks and tech giants have spent billions of dollars to ensure that the act of giving up your hard-earned wealth is as painless as breathing. Tap, swipe, click, gone. They've successfully anesthetized the part of our brain that's supposed to feel the sting of loss. And when you remove the pain, you remove the signal. So, I decided to do something radical. Something that felt almost caveman-like in a world of crypto and digital wallets. I decided to go full cash for 30 days. No cards, no Apple Pay, no buy now, pay later loopholes. Just me. A leather wallet that actually felt heavy for once, and the raw, uncomfortable reality of every single cent I owned. The first thing you notice when you carry a month's worth of expenses in your pocket is a strange sense of vulnerability. It's not just the fear of losing it, it's the constant awareness that it exists. You feel it when you sit down. You feel it when you walk. It's always there. When your net worth is a number on a glass screen, it's easy to ignore. But when it's a stack of paper, it has a physical presence. It takes up space. It has weight. It even has a smell. That faint, almost metallic scent of circulation. During those first few days, I felt like a stranger in my own life. I'd go to the grocery store and find myself doing mental math before I even reached the checkout. I hadn't done that in years. With a card, your budget is a vague suggestion in the back of your mind. With cash, your budget is the actual physical limit of the paper in your hand. If I wanted the premium steak and the organic blueberries, I had to physically look at my 20s and decide which ones were going to die that day. Which ones I was willing to sacrifice. It sounds dramatic, I know, but that's exactly the point. It should feel dramatic. You are literally trading hours of your life for things. Paying with cash introduces friction, and friction is the only thing that stands between you and an impulsive decision your future self will have to pay for, with interest, stress, and sometimes regret. By the second week, the anesthesia had completely worn off. I started experiencing what psychologists call the pain of paying, and it's not just a metaphor. There is a real, measurable response in your brain when you give away something tangible. When you tap a card, you're holding on to the card. Nothing leaves your hand except a signal. But when you hand over a $50 bill, you are physically lighter. There is a gap where something used to be. And your brain notices. It creates a micro moment of grief. I remember standing in the aisle of a tech store holding a pair of headphones I didn't need. Normally, that would have been a 5-second decision. Swipe, done, dopamine hit. But this time was different. As I reached into my pocket and felt the thickness of the bills I'd have to count out, something shifted. The excitement vanished. In its place came clarity. I wasn't just buying headphones. I was trading 12 hours of my life. 12 hours under fluorescent lights, answering emails I didn't care about, for plastic and foam. That thought lingered longer than any discount ever could. So I put them back. And here's the strange part. I didn't feel deprived. I didn't feel like I had missed out. I felt like I had just won something, like I had outplayed a system that was designed to make me lose. It felt like winning a fight against something invisible. There's a certain humor to the whole thing, too. You really notice it in social settings. I remember being at a trendy cocktail bar. Dim lighting, loud music, everyone dressed like they had something to prove. And there I was, counting out singles like it was 1972. People were tapping their phones, flicking their wrists, paying in half a second. Meanwhile, I was doing math in public like a caveman. You feel like a relic. Like you should be wearing a fedora and talking about the Great Depression. But then something interesting happens. You start watching people. When the bill comes, there's this brief pause, this almost imperceptible hesitation, a glazed-over look. Like their brain is choosing not to engage. They tap. It's over. No reflection, no awareness, no memory. Meanwhile, I knew exactly where I stood. I knew how much I had, how much I was losing, and what it cost me. I wasn't just spending, I was parting. That shift in language changed everything. It turned my internal question from, "Can I afford this?" into, "Is this worth the sacrifice?" Because that's what spending really is. It's not numbers. It's not currency. It's a trade. Your past effort or your future time in exchange for something in the present. By day 20, something in my brain had rewired itself. The most obvious change was that I was spending less, about 30% less, just by cutting out the random impulsive purchases that used to slip through unnoticed. But the deeper change was this. The things I did buy felt better. When you pay in cash for something meaningful, a great meal, a useful tool, something you actually need, the transaction feels complete. Honest, closed. There's no ghost of it following you into next month. No pending transaction. No subtle anxiety in the back of your mind. I stopped checking my banking app every 2 hours like a nervous gambler because I didn't need to. The scoreboard was in my pocket. I always knew where I stood. And that alone reduced more stress than any budgeting app ever did. By the end of the 30 days, the world looked different. Not because my income had changed, but because my awareness had. I realized that the modern financial system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. It's built to keep us in a state of low-level unconsciousness. They don't want you to feel the transaction, because if you felt it, you would question it. They want you to be high-income poor, earning more, spending faster, never quite catching up, always moving, never arriving, going back to cash. Even temporarily was like waking up from that loop, like taking the red pill in the Matrix. It didn't give me more money. It gave me control. And control is the thing most people are actually missing. I'm not saying you need to carry cash forever. That's not the point. The point is to wake up the part of your brain that convenience has quietly put to sleep, because true freedom isn't about how easily you can spend. It's about how consciously you choose not to. I changed the way I paid. And in doing so, I changed the way I thought. And in the end, that's what changed everything.